Welcome back to the Hello Hair Pro podcast. You all right?
Yeah, I needed to put a bobby pin in.
Oh, jeez. What are we talking about today?
You tell me.
We're talking about the pandemic.
Ooh, ooh.
I'd rather not, but here we are. We've been avoiding this episode for a while. So, before we start, this episode is brought to you by our friends at Ping Pong Design and Marketing.
Ping pong.
Do you want to love your website again? Are you looking for more clients to fill your chair? Ping Pong Design and Marketing wants to make the internet a better place with websites and marketing campaigns that inform and convert, which is super important. Ping Pong is offering our audience a special 20% discount on any website or digital marketing campaign. Visit the show notes to learn more, reach out to Chris and talk about your needs, and of course, take advantage of that special offer. So thank you so much, Ping Pong, Digital Marketing and Design, which is for health, beauty, and the fitness industries.
Guys, they're amazing. You'd be an idiot to not take advantage.
I don't know what just fell.
Me either.
But something fell. When you were being negative, something fell. You put it into the universe.
That was positive. Well, I said idiot, but I didn't mean it meanly.
Joking.
It's as nice as possible.
So we've been avoiding a pandemic episode because I think, along with most people, we're over it.
Over it. Yes.
I don't want to talk about it, think about it, see it, hear it, anything.
I am kind of excited to talk about it because I think I need some therapy on this one. So I'm going with it.
I hope this episode is 2 minutes long and we're already at 150.
I'm afraid I might talk too much, so you'll have to just stop me, or I'll be too loud. Aha. That was evil.
So when the pandemic started,
Ooh.
or right before, we'll just run through. So I was in school, which was super convenient.
Yeah, so long ago.
We were building out a salon.
Yeah, the week we were about to open, we got shut down. We never even opened.
Yeah.
All of you out there, you're like, ooh.
All right, thanks for listening.
Yeah, it sucked.
I don't want to relive this shit.
It's good. I like it.
But here we are. All right, so we were opening a business.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. You go. Muting my mic. I quit.
So it feels like it was so long ago. So we were opening. We got.
That's because they. Yeah, go. Sorry.
There were so many things.
It was only 2 weeks.
We got our stuff that was coming from Italy. Our sinks and our chairs were stuck on a ship in the middle of the ocean. That was fun.
At least that's what we were told.
And we weren't sure.
I don't know if anyone knew what the fuck was going on.
We weren't sure if we would get them or not because there was so many things being said about goods not being able to come over. Maybe they had COVID on them. I don't even. It was fucking weird.
That was a thing for a little bit.
So they were stuck out there. Then they got off the ship, and then it was like, how do we get them to our salon? Because we were afraid at that point. Which
did they come through New York?
Yes.
Baltimore, New York.
And then into Connecticut. And it was like, what if they shut down borders? Then we can't get them. Like, there was so much
shut
chaos.
Down borders, which is...
I know, but this was the conversation.
State borders.
Yes, and it was scary. So literally, I remember one Saturday, the guy that was helping us design everything literally came with a U-Haul with his, like, son-in-law. And, like, we finally got them. And it was like this sigh of relief that, like... Our stuff was stateside and in our state, and we had it, even though we were shut down. So it didn't freaking matter because we couldn't use it. But we were like, we've got it in our building. This is great. Like, it was so insane.
Yes.
Insane.
I have nothing to contribute but negativity.
You need some glitter thrown at you. I don't have any glitter, but if I did...
I need something. I'm salty about the whole thing.
Yeah, that was rough. And then, so we're shut down.
We were expected to open sometime in March.
This week. It was right around St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We were supposed to open, and we were watching, which I don't really do the news that much, but we were watching the news because it was really the only way to get any information. And you said, let's open on this date. And I said... Probably not, because all the other states were shut. We were watching all the states shut down.
It came in like that Friday afternoon. I think Sununu was like.
Sununu's our governor. If we're in New Hampshire.
We live in New Hampshire.
So, yeah, there was all this craziness going on, and yeah,
And so I want you guys to think, because there's a few things that we have instilled that have changed the way we run Hello today, and I do feel the pandemic helped that. So we're about to open, and one of the first things you do generally as a salon owner is you stock up on all your fucking retail, so it looks real pretty when you open. Except when you can't open, you're sitting on 12 grand of retail, and that money you could use because your salon cannot open. Reason number 502 why not to have retail at your salon. Anyway, so I do remember having
We do offer products in retail to people. We just offer it through affiliate links.
And if I fast forward, when we finally were able to open, because they allowed us to, 2 of the brands had fucking rebranded. So now we're stuck with old packaging. Wah, wah, wah.
And they were like, we don't care.
They don't care. They don't care. Put it on sale. Put it on sale. We haven't been open for 2 months. Are you kidding me? Anyway, that's my salty shit story on retail. So we end up selling some retail to people that
we could do that weird
us.
like we ran out front with our masks on,
God,
put the bag down
so
and like
weird.
backed away, and the person would drop the check, or they would put the card in the square, and then we would spray everything with sanitizer, because it was like Ebola. That's what I was thinking in the beginning. I'm gonna die. Everyone's dying.
So then too, we were able to open, and I think it was like the beginning of May. And I remember we were like, okay, well, they said we could open. But after we said to our staff we were going to open, I looked at Todd, I'm like, I'm not ready. Like we weren't a salon that had been open. So our staff had never even worked
in the space. A brand new space with no workflow. I mean, we had laid it out.
But no workflow of being in there.
It had never happened.
And now we've got a situation called COVID. So certain things were changing. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't. So I'm like, we can't just open and like start working. We don't even know what it was like if that time was regular. Never mind now here. And I think I've said this before, mind you, every salon I've worked at prior to the one I'm in now, was so fucking disgustingly dirty. No one cleaned anything. That I'm like, now you want me to open in the middle of a fucking pandemic with bad, shitty, dirty habits, including myself. So now I got to come clean with my husband and be like, listen, I don't know how to clean shit. I don't even know what you do with I don't know how long you leave stuff in. I don't know any of that. And now it's really friggin' important.
I'm going to beep out because I hate that.
Okay, beep it out. So now I need help. Can you teach me and our staff how to clean? Which sounds stupid, but let me tell you, I needed to be taught, how do I clean and how do you make it as simple as possible so I'll actually do it?
Guess what I'm good at?
Putting systems in place.
Making things simple.
So then we had to not open so we could do a day of just how do we workflow, and with that workflow, how do you clean as you go so that anyone that comes in here feels as safe as possible. That was like crazy.
And we were slightly stressed, me less, because I don't care that somebody might show up. Like, who knows who's going to show up from the state, or who knows
and
the
you're not
board
doing
or whatever.
right,
and I know a lot of salons that were open through the pandemic, no masks, no anything. And I'm not here to judge anyone. Honestly, we probably should have done that.
Yeah, looking back.
Because there was so much just misinformation, and everything was happening really quickly.
Scary
and
time, in my opinion. It was for me.
This whole pandemic was trash. Anyways, so we dealt with the build out. We dealt with, I believe we shut down for 2 extra weeks.
We did. Yes.
To go through
we went to Memorial
the
Day.
workflow and all that stuff. And then, yes, with the holiday coming, Memorial Day, we just were like, okay, there's a sort of like a benchmark that we can wait for a time, you know?
And it gave us time to get ready. And we killed it. Like I'm so proud of like how clean and how we run things.
We put in systems to communicate. So our staff, for example, one of the things we did, we have our backwash stations. And how we communicate that is we just have, if it has the neck rest on there, it hasn't been cleaned.
Right.
If it's off and I go over there and there's a sink with no neck rest, whatever, I know that sink is clean. It's ready to go. Yeah. It's been wiped. It's been sanitized. Let's talk about support.
Okay.
So there was a lot of support / misinformation because there was a lot of misinformation. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of bullshit. There was a lot of, do this and you'll be fine. Mm. And a lot of it came from, I would say most of it came from the big companies that sort of put themselves in charge of the hair world. You know, the big reshare pages. Yeah. And you guys know who I'm talking about.
And they're trying to capitalize on this moment, right?
Fucking course. Yeah. All eyes on me.
We followed
in the words of the great
the
Tupac
opening
Shakur.
2.0 that advised us for our state and for our licensure.
And I read that motherfucker. So if it said must, I was like,
Right.
all right, let's do it.
It's a
And if
must.
it was like,
Yep, I remember this.
we encourage, it was like, gray area.
If it's recommended, it's up to you as to what
Recommended,
you
it's
want
up
to
to
do.
me. Yeah.
If it's a must, you're musting it.
And
And we didn't play
musting it?
And we
Okay.
played only in those rules. Like, I don't want to make up my own rules. I don't want to be like, well, they said we could do this, but we should wait it out. As soon as they allowed certain things, our rules changed with those rules because I am not fucking in charge of that shit and I don't ever want to be. And then we left it up to the public that came in or the staff. You can decide what you want to do. Here's how it's changed. And that's how we relate it every
Right.
single week. And it was weekly at certain points.
So we were watching it weekly. Our
Yeah.
governor was always updating things. And then for a while, they didn't, for like months. We heard nothing.
Yeah.
There were no changes.
Do you remember we couldn't blow dry?
Yeah.
We couldn't blow dry.
Stupid.
Simple services only. Couldn't be in contact with someone too long.
So some of the misinformation that was coming out of that, and it was coming in the form of support, and it was just, to me, really sort of garbage advice. Like a lot of the bigger companies were saying sell gift cards, and then use that money. You can't do that,
Right? Because when
Not
people
if you're
come
running-
back in to give you back redeem their gift cards, now you don't have the money.
You don't even have the money. So now you're just defaulting
Yeah.
to a later date with selling gift cards. And I don't want to get too crazy into gift cards. I just thought that was a really poor
It was
example. And then all of the sort of mid-level and smaller people just started parroting that. Like, oh, this is what
'Cause
you
they're
should
not
do.
thinking.
No, they don't. And no offense to people, it was confusing. So
It was
And
very confusing.
actually, let me back up a step. If you had to sell gift cards to keep your business open or to feed your family, you fucking sell gift cards.
for sure.
But if you have a structured business that's already there and you're profiting and it's established, which we didn't have, I don't think we sold a single gift card, by the way, on purpose.
Not on purpose. We did there's holidays coming up, but it was all intentional. Yeah.
So you have to do, like, I just want to preface that with, you sometimes have to do what you have to do. We have 3 little kids. If we needed to feed them or something, we would figure that out.
Yeah.
That's first. And then deal with the repercussions. But I don't think that was sound advice. I think that was just like, let's shoot from the hip and try to get advice out as quick as possible so that more eyes are
And
on
that's so
our
negligent.
Instagram page.
Yeah, it's very
that's all it
negligent
is.
because there are a lot of people out there that look up to those and they think that advice is good advice. So I think on that, a takeaway is, you can look at all those big pages and whatever, but think about is it
The
relatable?
authorities.
Is it relatable to you? And actually, I'd ask yourself, do you think it's good information? I wouldn't share shit just blindly. Like literally think about it. Okay, that's enough for me on that one.
That's cool. So what else? How about financial help?
Yeah.
Some people got financial help.
Well, if you
Some people
opened like
didn't.
us, you got shit.
So we fell into
This gray area.
We fell into this gray area, and they said, well, if your business was open by February of 19 or whatever the cutoff date,
Yeah.
and we were like,
Nope. If you had a payroll, nope.
yeah, we were like, oh, we were really close.
I was so salty at times because I had a lot of my clients are business owners and they're like telling me all the money they're getting and what they're doing with whatever. And I'm like, I'm fucking drowning over here. Are you kidding me? Like, we're a brand new business and they didn't think of the brand new businesses that were opening right at the pandemic. They forgot about us. Like, how do you forget about a brand new business? There's a lot of them opening.
So one of the
sorry.
one of the proactive steps that we took is that we were in communication with the state, with other businesses,
With our accountant.
with our accountant. I believe I was talking to the Small Business Development Center at that time, and which is a free resource. You should check them out. There's one in every state.
And we had also put money aside to help get us open. So we were lucky that we had strategically planned, not for a pandemic, but knowing that a brand new business
No one fucking
is going
planned for
to
that.
need some guidance or financial help. So we were able to have that in place.
So yeah, I remember sitting on the phone with a woman. I forget her name now, but bless her heart. I was on the phone for way too long.
Amy?
I don't say that. Amy?
Is that her name?
No.
Just made that up.
So she was trying to help me get, I believe, unemployment.
Oh yes,
Because
the
she was like,
unemployment thing.
there's got to be a loophole or something to help you
Yeah,
guys.
you couldn't
that's
even
like,
get that.
that's like not your, like for your business, but it's for you. And like, because the state, like people had started to realize that they had screwed up. There was a lot of looking at how I think independent stylists work and operate. There was a lot of that because I think some of them were confused when they didn't automatically get money.
Right.
But you love to hide your money. So that's probably why.
So that was interesting too, because as owners now, we are trying to help our staff get
we're responsible
unemployment.
for
like
a
I
team.
remember being on the phone and like trying to figure out how to advise them. That was a different role as an owner. And as an owner that now we were virtually learning with our children. That was brand new. We had 2 kids that were now learning through Zoom. So all of my day and a baby was like this Zoom class like it was really insane. If we had taken a video of what a day looked like in here, one day it was,
we would have way more fucking subscribers.
Todd was in Zoom
YouTube.
school upstairs.
Zoom school.
My kids were in Zoom school in the playroom. I, a lot of times, had Zoom school because we were trying to get our product knowledge all done. And then I remember one day I look over and my 1-year-old is on this table that's behind here painting his body with nail polish, all red, all over him. Because I forgot about him because everybody else was getting taken care of. Like, it was just so crazy, and you were doing anything you could to just survive.
I do want to point out, too, if anyone's listening and you were one of those businesses, any business, not just the hair industry, of course, and you fell into that crack, there are programs now.
Yes. And you need to
contact your accountant.
Yeah,
or
your accountant should know about that.
Yeah, if they haven't contacted you already, reach out to us and we'll give you the name of our guy, because they should have reached out and told you that there are programs now
that could help.
That will sort of go back and look at things and you could get some help. So day late, dollar short, but it's still going to help you.
Yep.
Right. So what are some long-term impacts that the pandemic had? I think both positive and negative would be good here. So I'll start with one. I think it took our industry and it just reminded us a little bit of how important cleanliness is.
Yeah. I learned
I don't know if everyone
so much.
Still does that, because I've been into some salons and shops recently that are disgusting.
Samesies.
And I don't get it. It's too easy to sweep. Like if I'm seeing hair, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but yeah,
clean your shit.
I'll say it. If I'm seeing hair all over the fucking floor, you're just lazy.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have a client.
Yeah.
There's just hair all over the place. What are you doing? Anyways, I'll get off my soapbox. But I think that was a positive impact.
I would agree.
I think one of the negative impacts that it had, especially on our industry, was getting people to believe that they were essential. Because you're not. The hair industry is not essential. Stop it. If we don't go to work, people don't die.
Yeah. I think if anything, what everybody should have realized was everybody needs their hair done and they'll all get it done after, and it really doesn't fucking matter.
No, it's fine. It just, I saw a lot of stuff, I think mostly out of California, because they were always fucking everything up. They had, like, we're hairstylists, so we are the best prepared to deal with viruses. What are you talking about?
It was insane. I'm like,
you're not a virologist.
This shows you how many people are egotistical in this industry because you think you're something you're not.
No, you don't know. You're not prepared to deal with viruses. That's one of the stupidest things that I've...
Nobody was prepared. Even the people that were supposed to be.
Yeah, that's true.
So definitely it wasn't the stylists.
No.
Okay.
No.
Let's move on.
And barbers and stylists were not essential. Like I said before, if we don't go to work, it doesn't matter. No one dies. That's what essential is. We don't provide food and safety and medical care for people.
Yeah.
We provide haircuts and happiness and
so
things like that.
We could be part of like self-care. Like we might have helped some people make them happier, because that's what I do every day. And I do their hair, but I mostly make them happy.
Yeah, true story. So let's talk about how schools and students were impacted. You talked about Zoom already. So Zoom, I can tell you from my example, or from my experience rather, Zoom sucked. I just didn't like it.
I think, so for my experience with the kids, I do think you truly got to see if your child had an amazing teacher that was really there to teach your children.
What does this have to do with business?
You said schools.
hair. We're in the hair industry.
Oh, I thought you meant like our kids' school. Oh,
No.
for your Zoom school was fucking stupid.
No.
You can't learn hair on Zoom.
She starts talking about the kids.
Sorry.
Well, you might as well finish the thought.
So I think, well, maybe even for hair Zoom shit. Sorry, guys. I got to see what if your teacher still wanted to be teaching. That's all. One of our kids, he had an amazing teacher. Other one,
Not so much.
not so much. And
So-
you learned how to parent better.
So I think
Sidebar.
I think schools so Zoom sucked. I said that probably like 4 times.
So actually,
Zoom doesn't suck. Zoom is a great tool.
now
And I want to say before I let you take over, I don't think my school knew what to do.
I don't think
They were
anybody
just
did.
as confused as everyone
Yeah.
else. So I don't blame them. When I say it sucked, if you're listening, my instructors out there, Mr. and Mrs. C, shout out. It wasn't them.
No.
I love those guys. They were great.
You
they
had
were
like
trying
1
to
minute to pivot to get people to learn, to get them graduated.
And the school is their business,
Yeah.
and they looked at the students as their responsibility. So they did what they had to do with the information that they had.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't allowed to open, which was
Right.
stupid. And then they were freaking out because at a certain point they were talking about how many when we open, there's a possibility that not everyone can come back.
Right. Because of the...
And how do you pick? And then, like, do you do certain days with some people,
Yeah.
or do you separate and you have some people upstairs and some people down? And they did the best that they could do. So when I say that it sucked, it's not anything to do with them. I'm just saying the experience overall in our lifetime sucked. This is a low light. The pandemic was a low light.
And then you have an industry of people coming out of cosmetology, barber, skin, school, whatever school, and their hands-on experience was like 5%. So we've got now all these people coming out that haven't done much with actual clients. Right.
A foil.
They don't know how to consult. They haven't foiled. They've barely done a haircut.
That was a big one that we kept hearing is I don't know how to foil. I've done one.
That's a long impact because our salon is getting those people that it's like, okay, we're teaching them from the ground up because they did most of their education on Zoom.
That is a true story.
Yeah.
And definitely a long-term impact. And definitely how...
Big time.
Yeah. For sure.
I got back on track there.
There you go. Or I got you back on track.
Thanks.
It was my ego. It was me.
It was you.
If something goes wrong, it's probably you.
Probably.
So then we had the rules, regulations, mandates, the stay-at-home 2.0,
Yep.
all that bullshit. Bullshit.
But we followed it, and that's when we learned. If it's a must, we'll do it. And if it's recommended, Todd and I will have a conversation, and we will decide what's best for Hello Hair Co.
So I don't want anything like this ever to happen again, but I do want to point out because I think people are confused about it. And I had recently, I had a police officer in my house. Not. He's
a friend of ours.
He's a friend. His daughter. He's a friend. Our daughters play together and stuff. And I just was like, I already know the answer, but is a mandate like a law? And he was like, absolutely not. It's not a law. Mm-hmm. So when they put these mandates in, it's like a strong suggestion, I guess. But he had said that their department had already reached out to businesses and said, we will not be, for example, we will not be showing up to arrest people for not wearing masks. Because that's where some people started going. It was just getting crazy. And it was like, you have to continue to wear your mask. Even to this day, I still see shit on Instagram and it's like, okay, you seem like you have something.
Do you remember when this Massachusetts was basically like you can no longer go into any other state unless like you have to buy groceries or like go to your doctor? And I got a call on a Sunday night from my client because the mandate was going in like Monday night and they were supposed to see me Tuesday. And they're like, can I come get my hair done or not? Because they're coming from Massachusetts and I'm in New Hampshire.
We're essential.
And I just said to them, I'm like, you need to decide what's best for you. Can you come to my salon? Yes. But she's like, what if I get arrested leaving? And I'm like,
They can't.
I'm like, I don't think they're arresting people for getting their hair done. They're just
stupid.
It was just crazy though. And so they were like, well, maybe I'll just grab a can of beans first and then I'll come get my hair done. So if I get pulled over, then it's like I had to go get these beans. Like this is real life what was happening. And I'm trying to coach now my clients. And I'm like, legally you can come into my salon. What you do after, I have no idea. But I highly doubt you're getting arrested because you got your hair done.
Picture her holding a can of beans driving.
Like ready.
Officer.
I got beans.
I got pinto beans. We're having quesadillas.
Oh my gosh. That was real life, man. That was real life.
People were just doing crazy shit because they didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then the sad part is, and going back to like long-term impacts, the sad part is some people are still living that way.
Oh, yeah.
And some people think this is now the Wild West where they're in charge.
Yeah.
And they can tell you what to do.
Oh, yeah.
Look, everything's been lifted in our state, in most states. And
our state is live free or die, just so you know.
And it took a fucking hot minute for us to arrive back at that.
Yeah.
One of the things we did do when the rules, regulations, and mandates and all that stuff was out there is when we were allowed, in air quotes, I'll do it for YouTube viewers, but so in air quotes, when we were allowed to open, I had talked to Jen, about what do we do if they decide they want to close us again? And we had decided that we were going, not going to happen. We had our lawyer, I don't know if I reached out to him and sort of told him. I might have, I might not have. But I was like, I will reach out to him and we will work through our options of how to fight for this. Because at that point, we had decided that our staff was our responsibility. And while they're responsible for, building themselves obviously with coaching and all that stuff, that it's our responsibility to offer them the opportunity to work.
Yeah.
And nothing was going to take that from us because we were like, okay, we live in New Hampshire. It's live free or die. And we're going to live free. You're not going to stop us. We weren't going to die either. So
same thing within that too. Like once they lifted the mask mandate and it became recommended, it was lifted, I think, on a Friday, and that Saturday, I remember having a friggin' panic attack that morning because I wasn't working. And Todd had to go in.
I led a huddle, a little meet, like a meeting, like a little powwow in the morning.
Because at that point, like I said,
with our staff,
we never made our own rules. Like if it was a must, we did it. If it was recommended, we decided what was best. So once that was lifted, it was like, we had seen a lot of salons, they're like, we're going to wait 2 weeks, see how it goes, whatever. I'm like,
2 weeks.
Who are you in charge to be? Like,
what
does 2 weeks do?
How
Nothing.
many 2 weeks did we wait?
So we knew once that was lifted to recommended
52.
that we needed to present it to our salon as it's now recommended. You choose what you want, but understanding.
I took mine off in the middle of the meeting.
Yeah.
And I threw it on the floor.
Like we knew we weren't going to wear it.
No, fuck
and
no.
we presented it like if you still want to wear it, you go right ahead, but you no longer have to. And Todd when I was like, and Jan and I will not be wearing them. Like this is just where we sit. Like I need to breathe. I need to get healthy here.
I'll be honest with you. It was one of the happiest days in the salon. Clients were coming in almost tears in their eyes because they could see other people's faces.
It was crazy.
And it was like a little emotional at times. And remember,
I'm just sitting at home, like text me, make sure everyone's okay. Like, cause you don't know if people are going to get irritated or they don't, whatever.
It was like April 7th
I was
or
so
something.
Scared.
I remember.
So
Yeah.
scared.
Cause on the 6th, I believe everything came out and they released all the updated sort of stay at home rules or whatever they wanted to call them.
It went amazing. And just the anticipation of it all was so much. The anxiety through all of this has been so much. I say all the time, if you didn't have anxiety pre-pandemic, you do now. And if you did, it must be through the roof.
And if you did, you're me. Here we are.
Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I did have an opportunity to talk with someone one-on-one in person from the New Hampshire Cosmetology and Barbering Board who told me to my face, obviously we're face to face. Why did I say that? I didn't need to fucking say that. So they told me though that these guidelines are for you to interpret, not for us to enforce.
Right.
And I was like,
because a lot of people want it. Like, why don't they just tell us what to do?
No.
Because they don't have a team of people to come in and enforce it. So they have to keep it that way.
If you own a business,
I don't ever want to be told what to do.
The last thing you want,
is
someone to tell you what to do.
Yeah, I don't.
And if that's what you need, you probably need
shouldn't be running
a business coach or something to help you out. Or shouldn't be, or just, sell the business.
Yeah,
Not being a jerk,
I don't want to be told
but
what to do. I don't mind recommendations and then I'm able to decide, or we are. But I was like, why do you want to be told? No. Because now I got to break the rules. I don't like when I have rules.
More government being involved in your business is not a good thing ever.
Agreed.
I don't care if you disagree. It's my show. Here we are.
It's a true story.
No, I know it's true.
Ping pong.
Ping pong. I think that's it. That's all I have. Pandemic.
Cool.
We could talk about it more, but I don't want to.
That's enough.
To be honest with you.
Hopefully
I'm about to
those
hit this closing
that
button.
made it through, you made it through okay. And maybe for some of you that didn't, maybe it was a good thing too. Like maybe it was time for you to move on to something different. I do think there's a lot of shifts that happened here.
Touch on it.
Yeah, I think
That's
there's
fine.
just a lot of shifts here on people that maybe owned businesses that shut them down or took career changes that almost looked at the pandemic as it gave them
Permission.
the opportunity and the permission to be done. And they could blame it on something and feel good about it. And you know what? Good for you.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're in a better place because sometimes we need a push, and that would be a positive there. For those that the impact was negative, I feel for you. We went through a lot of struggle. So if you need to vent that out, yeah, they are. Let us know too. If you need some apparel for your salon, we got you. Todd can put in the show notes who does our apparel because they're fucking fire.
They are.
And then I'll just stop talking.
Good. Very good to work with.
If you need help, holler. We're here.
Thank you guys so much for listening. This show was so much fun. I'm just over talking about it. But we seriously appreciate the listeners. And don't forget to check out Ping Pong Design and Marketing. Everything is in the show notes. And I will put in Forever Fierce.
Yeah.
If you need help with apparel stuff. Probably should have reached out to let them know. But they'll appreciate it.
They will.
We'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Leave a review. Hit subscribe. Do something.
Please.
Or don't. Bye.